Chapter 1. A Young Girl and Young Bride. Giulia was born in 1513 in the small town of Gazzuolo, in northern Italy, to Count Ludovico and his wife Francesca. Like most Italian noblemen of his time, Count Ludovico was an army captain who offered his services where they were needed and trained most of his sons to follow in his footsteps. The Gonzaga family was well known and respected, an offshoot of a larger family who ruled Mantua. Over the years, they had kept a lively court composed of about 100 people, secretaries, administrators, cooks, guards, tutors, and servants, and attended by artists, writers, and musicians. Giulia was the youngest of 11 children. Her favorite brother was the oldest, Luigi, nicknamed Rodomonte, after a powerful hero of an Italian epic poem. Luigi was 13 years older than Giulia. Once, during one of their frequent visits to the rich court of their relatives in Mantua, 7-year-old Giulia was nominated to be queen of a tournament, a competition of knights, and had the honor of crowning Luigi as the winner. Most of the time, however, she stayed home with her mother, grandmother, and 5 sisters. As was typical of girls in noble families, she learned to read, write, sing, dance, and embroider. One of the family tutors thought she was the most talented and studious of the Gonzaga girls. In those days, especially in influential families, parents and relatives arranged their children's marriages, and Giulia knew that this was what the future held for her. Normally, the choice was based on what was best for the family. Giulia's parents looked for a man in the Colonna family, who was both powerful and influential. They chose a man in his 40s named Vespasiano, whose wife had recently died, leaving him with a daughter, Isabella. Giulia and Isabella were about the same age. It must have been strange for 13-year-old Giulia to become the stepmother of another teenage girl. Vespasiano and Giulia's wedding was celebrated in July 1526. We don't know how Giulia felt about it, but she didn't have a choice. In any case, Vespasiano was a military captain and was gone to battle most of the time, leaving Giulia and Isabella in one of his castles. As he was in poor health, Vespasiano died on March 13, 1528, less than 2 years after his wedding. Before dying, he wrote his last will. All his property was to go to Giulia as long as she remained unmarried. If she ever married again, everything would go to Isabella. This decision shocked many people. Normally, all properties were left to the men in the family.